800 miles from the city of Anchorage. And this is an unbelievably beautiful and rare day. And I thought, my gosh, what a best opportunity of the year to show all of my viewers and all of you watching why we moved to the remote island of Dutch Harbor, Alaska. In this episode, live, by the way, we're coming to you live from Dutch Harbor, from the beach. We're beachcombing today. And again, we are 800 miles out on the Aleutian chain. It's a chain of islands off of the coast of Alaska, deep out into the Pacific Ocean. I think we are probably closer to the Russian mainland and maybe even Japan as we are to mainland Alaska. To my right that way, west, is the far eastern edge of Russia. To my left that way, east, is the mainland of Alaska and the Aleutian Islands. We are right in the middle of the beautiful, the famous, the often extreme, and the home of the deadliest catch with Living My Alaska. So why in the world, you might say, Bennett, why in the world did you guys move to Dutch Harbor, Alaska, way out in the middle of nowhere? And I'd love to share that with you. And it's, in short, Alaska has given us so much in our life. And we believe this is how we can give back. We believe in the remote communities of Alaska. Many of the remote communities need help. And they're tough people. They don't exactly ask for help when they need it. But we're here on a job assignment, specifically for my wife's career in healthcare. But this is going to be our home, at least temporary, at least part-time of the year. This is going to be our home. And what I would argue that this is probably going to be our main home for the near future. For at least the next couple of years, we will be spending way more time here than at our home just about 2 hours north of Anchorage. And so what you're looking at, if you've just joined us, is welcome. You're looking at a live stream from Dutch Harbor, Alaska. And I'm sharing with you why we've moved to this remote island and what's so special about this place. So back to what I was saying, we believe in the community. We believe in remote Alaska communities. And we were not born in Alaska, but we've lived here for over a decade, and this is certainly our home. And Dawn and I have said Alaska has given us so much. And we're so proud to be a part of this state. And this is how we believe in giving back. We believe in the people of this state. We believe in the state itself, and we believe in these remote communities. And this is how we give back and bring benefit to these remote communities. But this place is not always exactly a sacrifice. As you can see behind me, it's about, 55 degrees today, sunny skies, calm weather. And folks, I have to tell you, Dutch Harbor is famous for world-class bad weather. And on a day like today, you got to get out. Everybody just quits what they're doing, and if they can get away from their workspaces and off their boats, they get out in this weather, because this is as good as it gets. And this place is famous for bad weather. I've seen it. I grew up in South Louisiana, and I'm no stranger to hurricanes. And this place, I've seen more hurricane force winds in this weather, in this place, than I've seen in South Louisiana. I would argue that we see hurricane force winds on this island, I don't know, almost once a month, 60, 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds, and a few times a year. And it's just part of life out here. We hunker down and we wait till the storms pass, but on a day like today, you got to get out. So let me tell you more about this island. So this island is a very remote place. It is about 800 miles from the city of Anchorage, way out in the Pacific Ocean, northern Pacific. They call this the cradle of storms for a reason. And that's because so many of the northern Pacific and the Bering Sea's worst storms start right here. It's a historic place. Oh, greetings. Hey, Deborah from North Carolina, coastal North Carolina, so you know all about hurricanes too. And I wonder if you're getting beautiful weather like we're getting today in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. This place is famous for one very famous TV show that's been running, I think, for something like, 20 years, I think. And that's called The Deadliest Catch. And Deadliest Catch is about the famous crab boats and the fishermen that risk their life to get the tasty treats and that very tasty crab, not to mention other fish, things like that. But this is the home of The Deadliest Catch. And they're about to start filming another season, from what I understand, pretty soon here on the island. And it's exciting to see. This is also a historic place because this was the home of one of the few World War II battles where the enemy actually invaded our homeland. Yes, that's right. I know they don't tell you really a whole lot about this in the storybooks. But The island of Dutch Harbor was successfully bombed and invaded by the Empire of Japan in about 1942. And all behind me, and as a matter of fact, I'm streaming from my iPhone right now, and what I'm standing next to right here is a World War II machine gun nest bunker. And hey Bill, thanks for joining us today. If you guys want to see another really great channel about Alaska, it's called My Alaska. And it's Mr. Bill that runs that channel. He's here with us today too. So this is some world-class beautiful weather out here, and I'm so glad to share it with you. So what I was saying is this is some rich World War II history out here. What I've got right in front of me, I'll show you guys in a minute, is this is a bunker. And behind me and all through these hills, it's full of giant concrete bunkers. And there's a fantastic museum if you ever get out here. If you're a World War II buff, this is the place to see it, because there's still some of the most original and untouched relics of that area still out here. If you want to explore bunkers and ruins and some world-class hiking, this is the place to do it. How long does it take us to get to Dutch Harbor? It takes us about 2.5 hours on a good day, weather pending, God willing. It's quite a long ride out here on a propeller-driven airplane. It's a relatively short runway, and it's on a good day it's okay. On a rough day, it's absolutely terrifying. It'll really make you question what you're doing in your life choices. Because I'll do my best to show you the runway at some point. But this is how we get out to Dutch Harbor. It's a 2.5-hour flight out of Anchorage. And once you're here, you're really glad to be on the ground. And listen, it's not exactly rough living out here. I can tell you this island has one of the finest well-stocked Safeway grocery stores that I've seen in all of Alaska. And I assume that's to support the fishing industry and all the fishing boats of Dutch Harbor. But we also have it's called the Grand Aleutian Hotel. And I've commented to my wife, it's one of the nicest restaurants that I've seen in all of Alaska, and it's way out here on the island. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And so last night, yeah, thanks, Bill. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share this live stream as well. We work hard to do this. I'll share with you how I'm doing this right now. By the way, Dutch Harbor doesn't exactly have really great cell phone service, so I'm doing this through a Starlink Mini and a portable battery, and I'll show you that in a minute how we're doing this. It took some creativity and several failures, but we finally got it up and running. Dutch Harbor has a place called the Grand Aleutian Hotel, and it's absolutely fantastic. We just stuffed ourselves full of king crab, and shrimp and steak and a giant dessert table. Every Wednesday night, the Grand Aleutian Hotel here in Dutch Harbor launches this massive buffet, and it's something you would see at a casino in Vegas, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the beautiful Aleutian Island of Dutch Harbor, Alaska. And if you're wondering why I'm live streaming, is because we've moved out here, at least for the time being. This is going to be a new home. We've moved to this remote island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And I wanted to share all that with you. As you can see, the beach behind me is absolutely gorgeous. Mr. Beau Benoit from South Louisiana. That's my nephew. I'm so glad he's here. Beau, I'm so glad. Welcome. This is how we do live streams. Beau is an aspiring YouTuber, and he's doing quite well for his age. But I'm so glad. I'm really, really honored that he's joined us today. So Beau, what you're looking at behind me is not South Louisiana beaches, it's not Florida beaches, this is Dutch Harbor, Alaska. We are 800 miles out in the Pacific Ocean. Between the Pacific Ocean and the Bering Sea, and above that is the Arctic Ocean and the North Pole. And this is a famous island because it was made famous in World War II, where the Japanese bombed it, and then the American fighters had to take it back. And eventually we'll take you to some of those big bunkers on top of the hills and show you. But for now, we're talking about why we've moved to this island, what's out here. And so, Beau, your Aunt Dawn is out here doing some work. My wife is in the healthcare field, and they've invited her out there. She's out here. She's very honored to help them get their healthcare systems in line out here, and it's going really well. This community out here is a tough community of fishermen and workers and welders and divers, and it's so honoring that they've welcomed us into their community. It's a very diverse community. Dutch Harbor, if you probably don't see that on the TV shows like Deadliest, Dutch Harbor is an extremely diverse community because of the this island is one of the largest fishing ports on the planet, and it is, from what I understand, the largest producing fishing port in the United States. And so what that means is there are people from all over the world that come here to work in the fish factories and on the fishing boats. And so you have a rich mix of people from North Africa, from Samoa, American Samoa, from the Philippines, from Vietnam, and all over the United States. And so it's, you know, it's a wonderful community, and they've welcomed us in very warmly, and they've treated us so well. And it's like an extended family out here, because everybody's from somewhere else, and they're all out here on this island alone. And so we get together quite often and have potlucks and dinners and entertainment. And what else is on this island besides the world-class hotel that you never expect you'd see out here? By the way, I took some video and some pictures of that big buffet last night with all the king crab and everything else we ate, and I'll share that with you in a future video. What you've just missed is it's just about done with whale season. If this were a month ago, this behind me would be full of whales breaching and jumping out of the water, big humpbacks and orcas and all sorts of things. And it's absolutely incredible to see because they come really close to the shoreline. We also have sea lions and seals here, and I'm watching a group of beautiful ducks right off the shoreline, some kind of little sea duck. And this is one of the few places that I love about Alaska, that you can go hiking and not have to worry about getting eaten by a grizzly bear, which is incredible. There are no wild animals on this island like big game animals. There's no caribou, there's no moose, there's no bear. And the only thing that I've seen on this island is fox. And there seems to be wild foxes everywhere, and I guess they don't have many predators except the eagles. And so let me show you guys how we're operating this today from the beach in Dutch Harbor. So I've used my Starlink Mini and a portable battery pack, and I'll show you how we did that, and I'll put a link in this video to Starlink and the battery pack if you want to try this yourself. And we're streaming to the phone and to my this is the DJI mic mini, something like that. And it's a fantastic little unit. You can see it right there, and I'm extremely pleased with it. Bill, if you're still here, let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because this is the first for us, right? In the background, I've got all this noise from the waves coming in from the beach here, and Bill wants to know if we've seen any Sasquatch in Dutch Harbor, and the answer is no. But if you look behind me, there are a bunch of islands, and I would debate. Thanks, Deborah, I appreciate it. I'm glad you can hear me as well. That's good to know. We've finally gotten this right. But if you look behind me regarding Bill's question about Sasquatch, there are mountains surrounding me, and I can tell you with a high level of confidence, there are no human beings have ever set foot on the tops of those mountains. And so if I were something like a Sasquatch, or if I wanted to disappear, this would be one heck of a way to do it. All of Alaska is such a massive area, but we think we're remote when we go into the backcountry of Alaska on the mainland. But between this little island and Anchorage, Alaska, is nothing but a massive ocean and some very sparsely populated islands, and one very big mountain range that's basically nothing but a giant state and national park. And so if you want to be truly remote in Alaska, this is the place to do it. If I were a Sasquatch, that's where I'd be. So have a look. I'll show you what the Starlink Mini looks like and how we're using it to live stream from Dutch Harbor today. This is my Starlink Mini right here, and I've got it connected to this little battery pack. This attaches to this. I can't detach it because we would lose service, but this is just a typical DeWalt 20-volt 4-amp-hour battery pack. I bought this piece on Amazon, and of course I'll put that in the description for you, and that powers the Starlink. The Starlink zips our connection up into space. We have, Bill wants to know about wash-ups on the beach here. Yeah, Bill, listen, hey man, my wife loves to beachcomb, and Dawn was inspired by your recent visit out to Cold Bay, which is on the way to Dutch Harbor. And so my wife loves to walk these beaches and pick up what she finds and brings it to my house and sticks it in jars. And I keep asking her, how many jars of crap are you going to put in our house? And what are you doing with these things? Yeah, yeah. So Deborah had a great question. Deborah wants to know, if we had to fly out here, how in the world do you get cars and trucks out here? Well, that is, there's two ways to do that: through the shipping service. And that's, if you're just joining us, to see we have a few new folks joining us. Greetings from Dutch Harbor, Alaska, 800 miles from Anchorage. We're explaining what life is like out here because we've moved to this remote island for the time being, for the near future. So Deborah, the way we get cars to these remote islands is through, like everything gets to this island, is through a shipping service. It's either a barge or a large ship or a ferry. So the Alaska ferry system, also known as the Alaska Marine Highway, makes its way around Alaska. And so for something of a price tag, you can load a car or a truck or a van or other items onto the ferry. And the ferry will makes its way out of, I guess, near Anchorage and then up the Aleutian. Whoops. Wind got us. Sorry, guys. So what the ferry does is the ferry makes its way. Actually, that was a little bird that landed right here and knocked the camera down. Hey, listen, this is live and it's the backcountry of Alaska. What else can you expect? So the ferry can bring stuff out here. You can load your cars on the ferry. And by the way, that's one of my favorite ways to, yeah, but we think it's pretty cool too. It's one of my favorite ways to travel around Alaska is the ferry system. You can take the ferry out of Bellingham, which is near Seattle, Washington, and you can take the ferry up the Inside Passage, the famous Inside Passage, and it'll take you all the way to Whittier, Alaska, or Homer, Alaska, and several other places. And it's an absolute world-class experience. So that's, Deborah, that's how we get food and supplies out here. Now, there's also a giant fuel ship that brings diesel and gasoline out here. And there's also, like, I think, a barge or a container ship. I think there's also a barge and container ship that ships in groceries. So we get new groceries every week to the big Safeway here. And no, there's definitely not Amazon same-day or two-day shipping to Dutch Harbor, Alaska. I just ordered some new eyeglasses. Bill, you're going to like this. I just ordered some of these new fancy Oakleys that have the cameras in the temples, because I need to learn how to film when I'm moving around. And I don't want to, I'm very self-conscious about running a camera when I'm walking around the airport and stuff like that. I feel weird, I feel nerdy. So this way I can do it incognito I ordered some little glasses with the cameras in the sides of them. So we'll do that in the future. No, there's definitely no Uber out here. There is a taxi service because everybody lands on the island and needs a ride to go somewhere. So there is a taxi service, and there's definitely no Uber. And I don't think there's Uber Eats. I seriously doubt I'd be shocked if there was DoorDash out here. I think DoorDash is basically, the locals go get food for everybody else. How's the food out here? Well, it depends on what you want. You have the Grand Aleutian Buffet every Wednesday night is how we get fat. Because we go there and it's unlimited king crab, which is very expensive, unlimited steak and pies and everything else. And so every Wednesday night, that's great. The Grand Aleutian Hotel has what looks to me like a 5-star restaurant. It's white linen tablecloth. The views are amazing. The service is fantastic. They serve giant steaks and really tasty dishes of fish. It's considering where you are, it's pretty remarkable. Because there's such a diverse population here of people from all over the world, you have some pretty great little, small diners and such. There's a restaurant in the airport that serves, I guess you could call it Asian food, and they have some of the best fried chicken legs that I've ever had, and I am really a sucker for fried chicken, as my family knows, and my friends know, and my wife knows. I know this might shock you, but we have some outstanding sushi. We've got a sushi restaurant here on the island, so we're not exactly starving. One of the toughest things to do here is to stay in shape. There is a gym in town. It's called the PCR. It's like, basically a community service place. And there's a really nice gym up there, although we almost never go. When the weather's bad, when the weather's like this is what I do. I get out and just walk and walk and walk until my feet fall off. And when the weather's bad and it's blowing 30 miles an hour or worse and it's raining sideways, I want to stay in the house. Just watch YouTube. So, hey, let's do some beachcombing. Come with me. So I wanted to do this with my new little fancy camera, but I never could figure out how to get it to connect to YouTube, so we're doing this with phone. And what Dawn loves to do, what my wife loves to do, is look through this at low tide, see what she can find. As she finds stuff like this right here, this beautiful little white rock, that right there. This little white rock is either a piece of old pottery from when the natives lived here, and who knows where it washed up from. Remember, we're out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This could come from Japan, it could come from China, it could come from Russia, but it found its way here on the beach. And my wife loves stuff like this. And she'll bring it home, she puts it in a rock tumbler and shines it up. So I'm gonna save this for her, even though I discourage her from picking up rocks. We're gonna bring this one home for her. And so we basically just walk this beach and see what there is to see. And what a beautiful sight this is. And I'm so glad we can share it with you. I'm just going to shut up for a second, let you guys hear the sights and sounds of a remote Alaskan island out there. I don't know if you can see them or not. Let's see if we can see them in the photo. Right about there is a sea lion. No, sea lion. No, that is a. See, when you turn 50, you forget stuff that you should know. That is a sea otter out there and some seabirds. I was hoping you guys could see them. And if I would be really lucky today, we'd have a whale that would show up or some big seals. Woo. Let's do a little beachcombing. Let's see what's on the beach in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. This is called, I believe this is called bulb kelp. This is what it looks like. It's pretty gross. So that's the top that floats, and this big long thing goes under the water and hangs down. It's just a type of kelp. It is common for some people to chop this up, pickle it, and eat it. I've never had it. It doesn't sound very good to me. Sometimes people will find little glass balls that float in from wherever. I know in one of Bill's recent videos when he goes out to Cold Bay, Bill finds some of those really great glass balls. So let's see if we can catch a glimpse of this little sea otter that's out there eating clams and cleaning his fingers. He's right there. I think he's camera shy. Yeah, the kelp, by the way, yeah, that's exactly right. Bill says he's heard that this kelp is good for your gardens, and it absolutely is. Here in Alaska, it's kind of hard to get fertilizer for your gardens. And the one way to do that is to chop up this old kelp, let it rot for a while, throw it in your garden. A lot of minerals in that from the sea and the ocean. Let's go back to the beach here. Let's see what else. So as you can see, this is mostly rocks. There's not much sand here. Some of the other beaches around here have more sand. But what you want to do when you scour the beach for pretty rocks like that is basically do that and see what turns up. Oh, let's show you the bunker. Right behind me right here, that is a bunker from World War II, or what's left of the bunker from World War II. Right behind me right there are the famous crab pots from the famous TV show called Deadliest Catch here in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. You can see all of them. They're massive. They're about 6 to 8 feet across, about 3 to 4 feet thick, and they weigh about 500 pounds each. And you do not want to get caught between one of those, folks. It's a bad deal. And so we're just on the beach here. Behind me, that's the airport down there, way out there. And crab pots, beautiful sun. There's another bunker down there. That's right there, that's a bunker. Some more bunkers from World War II. And the beach, Safeway is behind me. Our little condominium that we live in here is not far up the road. So I just decided to put my backpack on and walk down to the beach and see what there was to see, and thought I could share it with you. Let's do some more walking. Out there, that's north. Out there is nothing but open ocean between here and the Arctic Ocean. Oh, Deborah wants to know how much daylight. Yeah, we because we're quite a bit more southern here than mainland Alaska, where it's warmer here. I'm gonna put the camera down. It's definitely warmer here, Deborah. It's what, Oh, it's about 55 degrees right now. At our home 2 hours north of Anchorage, it's about 35 degrees right now. And it's staying daylight right now till like what, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night still. But come December, we'll be lucky to have, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of daylight at the most. And by the way, when you say daylight, it's debatable whether that's daylight. It doesn't look anything like this, right? It's gray. It's just gray. It's gray, and on a rare sunny day, we'll get a little bit of sunlight for a couple of hours, and it's back to gray and then dark. And so we always, December 21st is the solstice, and after that, a few seconds, a few more minutes of daylight every day until the springtime comes around. And hey, if you're just joining us, this is Living My Alaska, and we've moved to the remote island of Dutch Harbor, 800 miles out on the Pacific Ocean from the mainland of Alaska. And we're glad you're with us. Just sharing with you what life is like out here today. And this is one of the few days where I wish I had a boat. What a gorgeous place this is. All right, what else would you guys like to see? Bill, Deborah, let me know. We can go a little ways from our Starlink here. The Starlink is emitting a Wi-Fi signal. Oh, it's Mr. Bo Benwall wants to know what time it is here. It's currently 1:30 p.m. And Bo, I think it's about 3:30 where you guys are in South Louisiana. And Mr. Bo Benwall lives on a crawfish and rice and soybean farm in South Louisiana with his brothers and his mom and dad. And it's a pretty unique life down in Cajun country, and where the food is good and the weather's hot. And Dawn and I left, it's 5, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, sure, it's 5:30 in North Carolina right now. Yeah, you're on the East Coast, so we're 4 hours behind East Coast time. And we left South Louisiana because we got sick of the heat. My wife's from Mississippi. We got tired of the heat and the snakes and the bugs and the traffic and the noise. And we basically committed career suicide to live a life in the backcountry of Alaska. And I tell people that, and it's true. We could certainly make a lot more money and have a lot more prestige and a lot more comfort in a big city somewhere in the South, Dallas or Baton Rouge or New Orleans or Houston or wherever. But we chose to give that up for a different kind of life, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did. I know this is hard to believe, but I once wore expensive suits with neckties and shiny shoes every day. I traveled all over the globe. My wife and I lived in Europe for a while in the Swiss Alps. I was working for a medical research firm, and we were doing transatlantic flights every other week somewhere to the planet, all over the world. And I looked out at the beautiful Swiss Alps one day, and I swear if I'd have had a parachute, I'd jumped out of the plane. I was just tired of that life. I was tired of that lifestyle, and there's no amount of money that was going to change the fact that I didn't want that life. And I worked hard to get it. I really did. I worked years and years and years to... Wind knocks our camera over. I worked many years to achieve that kind of success in business. And finally, when I got it, I realized I didn't want it. I didn't want anything of it. And so we left the South, and I basically burned my suit. And that was over a decade ago now. And we moved to remote Alaska. And we took major financial hits, major career hits, and my mentors told me, they said to me, Bennett, you're committing career suicide. I said, yes, I am. And he said, don't burn the bridges. I said, I have to, because if I don't, I want to come back when things get hard. And that was over a decade ago. And it truly is one of the best things we've ever done. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but if you are wondering what it's like to live in the backcountry, if you're wondering what it's like to live where the ocean is your backyard, where you have... I hear a siren. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I might wait for a second. We'll go for a walk and be quiet until the sirens pass. Oh yeah, Deborah, that's a great question. Let me wait till the fire truck goes by, and then we'll talk about that. Deborah wants to know, for the first time in Alaska, if you're a first timer, where should you move to? And I can tell you, your best shot and the most convenient thing to do is move to one of the bigger cities like Anchorage, Fairbanks, Soldotna, Wasilla, Palmer. Those are good places to start. a lot of conveniences, everything would be pretty familiar to you. And then you branch out from there. And if you're anything like us, you find out that the farther you go, the farther you want to go. And it's a pretty remarkable experience. And we had to learn a lot. You know, being from the South, being Southerners, we had to learn everything about living in the North. I had no idea. We had no idea how to dress, how to stay warm. We had never driven on icy roads. We had no idea how to prepare our vehicles or keep our homes warm, nothing. It was all a massive learning experience, and we leaned on each other because we didn't know anybody. So it was one of the best things Dawn and I could do for our marriage and for our relationship, is because we had no one else to depend on except each other. And we really counted on each other a lot. And it was one of the best growing experiences for both of us. It's also very humbling. It's because that can really get rough. Alaska's taught us a lot. Alaska can be incredibly beautiful like today. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look, it looks like Hawaii, folks. But tomorrow, we have a 70% chance of rain and possibly 60-mile-an-hour winds. It changes very quickly on the Aleutian Islands in a remote place like Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Yeah, thanks, Bill. That's a great idea. You could rent. Don't come up here and just try to buy a house immediately. Just wait. Make sure you know what you're getting into. There are a lot of people that move to Alaska because they watch too many TV shows, and it's nothing like the TV shows. And that's why I'm live streaming right now, is to try to give you guys a more realistic look on, gosh, that's the third ambulance and fire truck I've seen go by. That's not good. Yeah, it's nothing like the TV shows, and that's why I'm doing my best to give you a more realistic look at what life in the backcountry of Alaska looks like in these remote places like this. And it's remarkable, it's absolutely gorgeous, but it is dangerous and it is rough, and Alaska will kill you. Whether you're just driving down a remote highway in you know, when things are frozen. No, Bill, I'm pretty sure there's no Antifa in Dutch Harbor. By the way, Bill made a good point. It's a joke, but it's really true. For most of Alaska, we have relatively little crime, especially in a place like Dutch Harbor. For as a remote place as it is, and as for a diverse place as it is, we have relatively little crime. We almost never lock our doors. It's a pretty remarkable place. The community pretty much polices itself. And by the way, my home, about 2.5 hours north of Anchorage, we have no police force to speak about. There's no mayor. They joke that they once had a cat as a mayor. And we've done pretty well managing ourselves out there. Let's go for another walk, see what else we can see. So they will start filming Deadliest catch pretty soon here, and all those big crab pots will go out on the big boats. Gosh, it's such a pretty day. That's called Mount Ballyhoo. It's one of the best hiking trails that I've found in all of Alaska. You can hike up to that peak, and it's quite a hike up there. It overlooks the airport and all of these islands. A bunch of little birds out there, some sea ducks. Let's see what else we can find to look at. Pretty rocks for my wife. Do a little bit of beachcombing. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the sound of the beach very well. I'm going to take my microphone down and put it down here, see if we can pick up the noise and the wonderful sounds that come in from the ocean. Well, now we won't get any waves. What a beautiful sight this is while we... Here we go. These rocks make an amazing sound as the tides come in and out. And I wondered if you guys could hear that or not. Every time the tide goes out, all these little rocks roll like marbles. And over time, it's a pretty remarkable thing. All right, you probably can't hear me. I'm talking to the camera, but the microphone's down there. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys could join us today. Yeah, you can hear it good. I imagine we could if we could package just that sound, Bill, I bet we could do some amazing ASMR sleep sounds from the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to put this camera down and reattach my microphone, and then we'll take a walk. Okay, fairly successful. So Mr. Bill at a YouTube channel called My Alaska is my neighbor, not too far. Bill, how's the weather today back home? We're going to do a little walking along this beach and share with you what beachcombing is like. More kelp, lots of really cool rocks. We're looking for pretty rocks like this. Oh, I love this kind of stuff. What I really hope to find is some old ivory. Oh, that's going to be a pretty rock. I think this would shine up well. Oh, Deborah says they have a tropical depression forming. Yeah, Deborah, I can tell you that living in remote Alaska, it feels like we have, tropical depressions about at least every other week out here. That's what kind of weather we get. It's pretty rough out here, but it's beautiful today. Now this is a pretty rock. She'll love that. She'll put that in her tumbler and then stick it in a jar, and then I'm gonna have to watch it sit in the jar. It's like her little collections of pets out here, rock pets. Hey, if you're just joining us, my name's Bennett. This is Living My Alaska, and you're watching a live stream from Dutch Harbor, 800 miles out on the Aleutian chain from the city of Anchorage. And I'm sharing with you guys what it's like on an absolutely beautiful day and what it looks like to live in a remote island. Because we've moved here, we've moved to the remote island. Deborah wants to know if we get sea glass. Oh yes, Deborah. Okay, I'm going to do my best. If please subscribe to the channel, send us a message, and I will show you a photo of my wife's collections of sea glass. She makes art with the sea glass that we get from the beach. She'll buy these little glass containers, and it's like a painting, but it's out of sea glass. We have a lot of it. There's actually a beach behind me. It's a little bit too far to walk for me today. It's actually called Glass Beach, and it's Glass Beach for a reason, because it seems to be always full of beach glass. So I'd say this is a pretty successful live stream. I'm so glad you guys could join us. Let's go up here. I want to show you a few more things. After a big storm is the best time to do some beachcombing, as Deborah will probably tell you. And that's not good. Oops, sorry guys. I dropped the phone. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So right behind me you can see those orange balls and a bunch of fishing line, and that's all. I know this looks like it's far from the ocean right there, but on a bad weather day that water will be way up here and it will be blasting up against these rocks, and that's why you see the erosion way up there, is because if that gives you an idea of the real world. Today's not the real world in a place like Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Today's just a rare princess bluebird kind of day. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because there's no way I'm going to stand down here when we're getting blasted with seawater, ice cold seawater, and 40 by 50 mile an hour winds. Not happening, not doing it. But I still see we have 10 people joining us right now. I'm so glad you guys did this. Thank you so much. And if you're just joining us, this is Living My Alaska. We're in Dutch Harbor. We moved to the island way out here on the Aleutian chain. Bill, I'd love to learn how to stream from the GoPro, because I've tried several times now and failed. Yeah, we've moved to the remote island in Alaska called Dutch Harbor, and it's famous for the crab boat fishing shows called the Deadliest Catch and a few other things. And by the way, there's more stuff coming around the corner. I can't share it with you right now, but there's some more big TV shows coming to Alaska, and especially Dutch Harbor. Especially there, just around the corner, rumor has it there's going to be a TV show coming out that's basically like documentary style about healthcare in the backcountry, and the amazing stories of the heroes, of the doctors and the nurses and the technicians and the people that save other people's lives out in places like this. And I'm really eager to see that. That should be a remarkable series. All right, let's go for a walk. Oh, maybe we should look inside the bunker. Let's see if we can have a look inside. So if you don't know history about World War II, about 1942, this is a very important strategic location during World War II to access through Alaska. And so they built all these bunkers here to protect the Aleutian Islands, and then the Japanese came in and took it. And the Americans had to fight the Japanese out of here and take it back. And it's a rarely told story and pretty remarkable. So this is a World War II bunker. It's been filled with sand and dirt and rocks over the years because it's been out here almost 100 years and the storms. But I'll show you a look inside. So you can see inside there, if it wasn't full of rocks, you would understand this is where a soldier would fit in this hole right here. And what he would see, this is the view a soldier would see from inside the bunker. You'd have to fire outside this bunker that way. So we will construct a whole series of videos about life on the remote islands and why we moved to these remote islands, and we'll put it in a playlist for all of you. And thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. And if you have questions, reach out. And by the way, I have several other more videos about life on the remote islands in our playlist, and you can go there now, check out those other videos. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. By the way, check out this next video. I'll put a link to it after this is done. We'll see you soon.